Hi, I am Anindita Das Bhattacharjee. In the previous video, I have discussed about an automata fixed problem on Pythagorean triples. In this video, I will discuss about spiral matrix output printing with shortcut tips and tricks with detailed explanation. Generally, you will be given a 2D array input. An expected output will also be provided. It is a classical example of spiral matrix output, which is frequently asked in CTS Drive. Let's try to understand what is the spiral matrix output and how to generate that output in lesser time. The problem can be solved by dividing the matrix into loops or squares or boundaries. It can be seen that the elements of the outer loop are printed first in a clockwise manner and then the element of the inner loop is printed. This is the pattern. So we have to use in this case specific four for loops, and each for loop is meant for maintaining a direction. So the first for loop represents the movement from left to right. See, this is the first movement, whereas the second crawl represents the movement from top to bottom, and the third represents the movement from the right to left, and the fourth represents the movement from bottom to up. So this is how we have to print the spiral pattern. And now here is the first trick. So we need four for loops. Now to maintain this four for loop, we will use four cases. So obviously the first case will be for going right, second case will be for going down, and the third case will be for going right to left, and the fourth case will be for going up. Now, this for loop will be controlled by a master loop, which is known as another while loop, which will control these four loops for further iteration for the inner segment of this matrix so that it could print 6, 7, 11, and 10. Here we will try to visualize the basic concept of designing the four for loops and what variables we can use. SR means the starting row, ER means the ending row. SC is the variable indicates starting column and EC means ending column. And I am using a variable J which will act like an iterator in the for loops. And here the 2D array name is ARR, and in the first square bracket represents the number of row and the second square bracket represents the number of column. Now case 1. The for loop will iterate for the first row. So it will start from 1 to EC, end column. And here, since we are iterating for the first row, the row is fixed, the column is changing. Now for the case 2, it is very interesting. This for loop will iterate from EC to ER. Means here the row is changing but the column is fixed. But what should be the size of the column? Here size of the column is EC minus 1. Try to remember we have already printed the fourth element of the first row, so it should be omitted. So therefore we have EC minus 1. Now for case 3, we have to omit the marked position. So we have to iterate from EC minus 1 to 1. And here the iterator J is decrementing since we are moving from right to left. And finally, for case 4, we have to omit this last portion, marked portion, and try to understand what should be the for loop. The for loop will iterate from ER minus 1 to SR because the marked portion will be omitted, and try to understand here we are changing the row and column is fixed, whereas we are decrementing the value of j since we are going bottom to top. We have discussed about the basic concept of designing four for loops for maintaining the directions of the matrix. Now it is a time to design the while loop, which will control the four for loops. So here the while loop will hold the boundary condition. Boundary condition means from starting row to ending row and from starting column to ending column. So try to understand the while loop with boundary condition. So here the while loop will iterate until starting row is less than the ending row, that is SR is less than ER, and the starting column is less than the ending column, that is SC is less than EC. And within this loop we have to write the condition for 4 for loops. Now we will design the for loop for case 1. Case 1 means we have to print the matrix from left to right for the first row only. So the iterator j will start from 1 and it will iterate up to EC end column, and j will be incremented by 1. And remember here, since we are designing it for the first row, the row SR will be fixed and column will be changing. That's why j is given at the position of column. And after completion of the for loop, then only the row will be changing, so that we can proceed to the next condition. That's why it is SR++. Now we will design the for loop for case number 2. The case number 2 was we have to print the last column. Printing last column means the column is fixed but row is changing. So we have to proceed from SR starting row to ER. Here row value will be changing and the column value will be fixed. So for that reason, in place of row I have written J. For case number 1, we have already printed element number 4 of row 1. So we will exclude that element. So after completion of this for loop, we have to proceed to the next column, means internal column. So that's why it should be EC minus minus. Let's discuss about case 3. Case 3 means we have to print the last row in right to left direction. But before writing the for loop here, we have to check whether the starting row is less than ending row or not. And now the for loop will start from end column minus 1. Why? Because in case 2, we have already printed the last element of the last column. So we have to omit it. So it will become EC minus 1. And the loop will be decremented by 1, and in this case row will be fixed and column will be changing, and dimension of the row will be ER minus 1. And since after completion of the loop we have to proceed for the next internal row, so it will be ER minus minus. Let's discuss about condition number 4. Here we have to print the elements of the first column from bottom to top direction. So before that we have to check the boundary, that is starting column is less than ending column or not. Since we are proceeding from bottom to top, so the row is changing, the column is fixed, and the dimension of the row will be ER minus 1, because in the third case we have already printed the first element of the last row. And here after completion of the loop we have to proceed for the next column which situated at the internal part of the matrix, that's why SC++. Since no return type is given for the function, therefore SP function will have void return type, and it will have 3 parameters: ending row, ending column, and the array itself. And we have to initialize starting row SR and starting column SC by 0. And within this function we have to define the while loop, and inside this while loop we will have the 4 for loop that we have discussed right now. The main function will be given to you as a part of automata fix problem. Here your array will be given and it will use the static representation. This is how static array will be represented, and SP function will be called here. But while calling the function, just use the array name, omit the square brackets.